Okay. Hi everyone. With us we have Sophie. She's a photographer and masters in dancing photography. She believes in capturing moments, lives, and souls. She also does a full-time job as a senior digital channel strategist at Salesforce. She never dropped her love for photography. Her works are beautiful. They show her love for photography and have been displayed at various exhibitions and galleries and have been thoroughly appreciated. In this live today with us, she will be talking about her works and sharing her tips and techniques. Welcome, Anne, to Running Down Success live show. And we are very excited to have you on board and know more about your work and share with us some tips of yours. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thanks for the invitation, and I'm really excited to be with all of you today. It's the first time I'm doing a YouTube live, so it's very exciting, and I hope you will like what I will share now.
Okay. So, Annie, what kind of gear do you use? For everyone who do not know, Anne is amazing. She masters in dance photography, and her pictures contain so intricate details. So I'm pretty sure there is something magical that you do with your pictures. There are some angles you cover. So, what kind of gear helps you do that?
Yeah. So I use a Canon 80D, so I have here with me. This box is absolutely amazing. I actually know it very, very well. I use two different lenses. So I have a zoom lens, so 18200 from Sigma. This one, so it's actually a pretty old one. It's the first lens I actually bought when I started photography. And the new lens that I got recently, it's the Sigma Art lens, the 35 millimeters that I have here. And this is absolutely a stunning lens, and I cannot do a shoot without it. And I have two few things as well that I carry with me. It's filters from Kokin. So it's few different filters that I use depending when I'm doing my photo shoot, if it's evenings or mornings. So yeah, so this is the two extra things I have. Obviously, yeah, so that's the main things I have with me when I do photo shoots. I don't have flash. Yeah, so I use natural light.
Okay. So, since you're saying you use natural light, what time of the day do you think the natural light is at its best for your pictures?
Yeah,
Like,
so
I
I
feel like
usually
during the noon it's too sunny. So,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So as all photographer, we don't like when it's too sunny. So I do my photo shoot early morning. So usually before the sunrise or just a little bit after. This is the best light, or evening time just before the sunset. I usually don't do photo shoot during the day because the light is too strong, and then that will destroy the picture. So I prefer to use morning or evening light.
what is your take on night photography?
Yeah. So for night photography, for dance, I actually don't do that because I usually like movement, playing with movement and high shutter speed. So during the night, if you do this kind of shots, it's a bit more technical. You need to have proper equipment such as light. I mean, you can have a tripod. Everyone has a tripod, but it's a bit more organization and technicity that I actually don't do that at the moment
Okay. Okay.
with dance.
Um, okay. So, which is your favorite lens you like to work with and why?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, I got recently the Sigma Art lens, the 35 millimeters, and this is definitely my favorite lens, sorry, for five different reasons. So the first one is the sharpness. The sharpness is
Mhm.
absolutely stunning. I really, really like it. The second point is the distortion. It's really cool because with this lens, avoid a lot of distortion that you can get in the lens. For example, the zoom lens that I used do most of my photo shoots, the distortion was pretty heavy, so I had to adjust that in Photoshop. The third
Okay.
point is the autofocus. The autofocus is really good, and when you do movement shots, it's really important to have a good autofocus. And with this lens, I'm really happy with the result. And then another point, the fourth point, I would say, is the quality of the image. So you can
Okay.
see that in my Instagram. If you go through the different picture, the quality is absolutely stunning. And the last point, the fifth point, I would say it's quite a cheap lens for the quality if you compare with the different lenses you have in the market. So that's make my favorite lens. One little thing that I don't like about this lens, and I think it's important to mention that, it's really heavy. It's a very heavy lens because it's not plastic, it's actually a metal lens. So that make it very heavy, and all the glass inside are pretty heavy. But so something to keep in mind as well if you do photo shoots all day long.
Okay. Okay. So, Anne very clearly mentioned both the pros and the cons, like the benefits and the disadvantages she felt with the lens. And I feel that was a beautiful insight to the lens as well, because like every photographer is very particular about the lens they use and the kind of gear they use. So I really hope everyone here is getting a very clear insight, and will really help them all in their next photo shoots as well. And we have a question here by Laura. Don't you recommend flash at all?
Yeah, so that will really depend which kind of pictures and atmosphere you want to do for your picture. Obviously, flash is good for inside photography, and if you use natural light, you don't necessarily need it. So yeah, I would recommend to play around with natural light, and then if you really need, you can use it, but it's not something I recommend because it make a little bit more fake on the face of the model. But obviously, if you're inside, you don't have choice. So yeah, that will really depend how is your photo shoot.
Yeah. I hope, Laura, that answers your question. When you go on one of your travels, and as we know that you travel a lot for your photo shoots and everything, so what do you take along with you? What are the
Yeah.
essentials that you take with you?
Yeah, that is very good questions because I tend to actually not have a lot of luggage with me, but half of my luggage is for my camera equipment. So basically, I carry only like usually my box, my ATD with my Sigma lens and my little zoom lens because I also like taking some landscape photography for memory when I'm traveling. So I always have this picture. And obviously SD cards, very important because obviously I take a lot of pictures. So just to make
Uh,
sure that I have all of that. And oh yeah, something I carry with me a lot. It's this little piece of plastic. We say, what is it? It's actually a raincoat for my camera.
oh,
Yeah, so it's something really handy. It's small. You can pack it really easily in your backpack, and you never know where you go. You can end up, and especially in islands, you can end up having a beautiful sunrise, and then 10 minutes later, a pure shower. So it's very important to have these accessories in the backpack.
okay. I am really glad you could get all this stuff here for the interview. Like, I wasn't expecting that. So, guys, she is actually showing all her gear and everything that she carries along. So, next time when everyone is making, like, we all make a to do list to carry everything we need for our travel shoots. So, I really hope you got some help on that as well here. Okay. So, my next question to you would be, can you share some tips on your dancing photography, and the techniques that you tend to use while you capture these people dancing?
Yeah. So yeah, so I love dance photography, and I have really 5 tips that I can give you for every single dance photography that you do or you will do in the future. So the first one is really experimenting, sorry, with angles and levels. So why I say that, because if you do shoot outside, there is plenty of line you can use, angles you can use in the street, in the city. So using that really make the difference in your pictures. I strongly recommend you using these beautiful lines and natural lines that you can find. The second point is really think as a dancer. So this is key for dance photography. So I used to dance myself, ballet and modern dance. So I have a bit of knowledge about, the position of the feet, the way the body should shape for a picture. But this is really important, the complicity you will have with the dancer in order to make really a beautiful pictures, and also a picture that is perfect, showing the beauty of the dance. The third point is telling a story with your picture. And sometimes we forget about that a lot because we are excited about the photo shoot, and we don't think too much about, telling a story with it. But this is actually key to pay attention to these details, and for your audience, but also for the dancer. The next point is it's don't forget to do close up with your picture, because we tend to, it's dance, so we take the full atmosphere, the dancer, but it's good to get beautiful close up of the expression of the dancer. For example, flamenco, you have beautiful expression on the way they dance, because every dance express a specific emotion. But also the feet, for example, for a ballet dancer, beautiful feet and beautiful shapes. So very interesting to get some close up. Indian dance as well. It's beautiful to get close up of the expression in the face, because every movement as well there is an expression. So don't forget about close up. And the last point, and we already talked about that, the light is absolutely key if you want to get specific emotions, or if you want to get the perfect shot. So make sure you look at the location and the light at this location at the specific time. So usually I go to the location at the time I want to do the shoot, in order to see if the morning light is better than the evening, or which time it's the best time, just to make sure that you excel and you have the perfect light for your photo shoot.
Okay. That
Yeah,
was quite a lot of points to be taken care of. Now we know all your secrets.
exactly.
Um, and we have one more question. What is the most beautiful place that you have visited?
Oh wow, this is a very hard question. So I would say for photography, Japan. Japan, it's absolutely an amazing place for photographer. It's beautiful. Everything is beautiful, landscape, but also, if you visit temples, the colors is very colorful, and the light is very interesting. So for photographer, lights is key, but the light. I visited Japan 2 different seasons, and both seasons has beautiful lights at the golden hours, but also morning time. So it's definitely one of the highlights for photography.
Okay.
And it's
So you
also
feel
it's also where I start really photography. So Japan has a really I mean it's a lot of meaning for me as well.
you really appreciate Japan for the natural lights that it has,
Yeah,
or it helps you
absolutely. Yeah,
for your photography, right?
yeah,
I hope, Shubham, that answers your question as well. Thank you. Um, in the field, like when you are setting everything ready for your shoot, what are your basic settings?
yeah. So again, a very good question, because if you do a bit of photography, you know that absolutely every single picture will have a different setting. So I will show you a few different pictures, because I have different settings. So the first one, so these pictures, I hope you can see it properly. So it's a jump of a ballet dancer that I took a few years back in Hove in Ireland. So for these particular pictures, because when she jump is really fast, you need to make sure that the shutter speed that you're using is really high. So for that, I'm using a shutter speed about 1000 by 2000 for this kind of jump. Regarding the aperture, for this picture, I was actually using my zoom lens, the 18 by 200 from Sigma. So I was about between 5 and 6 as an aperture. For the ISO, as you can see, it was a gray day in Ireland, typical day actually. So the light is a bit tricky. So I was around 500 as an ISO to make sure that I could actually play around with the shutter speed. And the format of the picture, I usually use RAW for most of my shoots, simply to be able to edit afterwards because the JPEG, you don't have the same quality. So I use RAW picture. So this is actually for all kind of jump. Then another shot, a little bit more easy, I would say. So I hope you can all see the picture. So I took this picture again in Ireland. So this is actually in a train station, in Pearse Station in Dublin. And they were not moving. There is no jump or there is no really action movement. The only complexity here is the low light. So completely opposite to the previous picture, I had a very low shutter speed. So I was about 250 as a shutter speed, aperture about 5 and between 5 and 6, and the ISO was quite high, so was around 1000 as an ISO. So I try to not go higher than 2000 with my camera because the ATD, you tend to have a bit of noise starting from 2000 and an ISO, and I don't like when it's too noisy in my pictures. So this is something I actually usually keep in mind. And for the focus, autofocus, as I mentioned, the autofocus with the lens I have are really good. So I tend to use autofocus, and the formats, same RAW format.
I really love the
And
poise of both the dancers in that picture. It's
yeah, really nice. Yeah, I wanted to actually
so
show
clean.
yeah, the mix of like street photography and ballet dance, and this photo shoot was a great photo shoot. And the picture I have on the background of me, it was during the same day, same photo shoot, and we did a representation of the Black Swan in Grand Canal Dock in Dublin.
Oh,
And it was a pure magic complicity with the two dancers and myself. It was a great photo shoot. The last picture, it's a mix between the two pictures I show you. So with using high shutter speed, but not too high, not like a jump, and using low ISO. So for this one, so you can see the model. So I'm putting a little bit closer for you to see.
okay.
So the model is actually, you can see in the middle of the two buildings, so the church and the building. So I took this picture again in Dublin, in city center near the St. Patrick Cathedral that you can see on the background. So she's a handstand balancing dancer, and she can actually stay on this position for a few minutes. So I don't need to actually push too much the shutter speed. So I was around 600 for the shutter speed, so not that high. And it was a beautiful morning. So the ISO was just only about 200, so it was quite handy. And the aperture, because I actually wanted to blur a little bit the background. So the aperture was at 6 for this picture, and the raw file again to be able to edit afterwards. And you can see here I'm playing around with the line. So I'm using the natural line from the street, to guide you to the picture. So this is the point I just mentioned previously, playing around with the line that you have in the city.
I love the detailing in the picture.
Thank you.
So
I try to show a lot of details about the street, but also the dancers. So the objective is really to have the dancer melting in the picture, so it looks like it's a FM, a a time that's we stop in time the dancer.
okay. So like you click such beautiful pictures and like kudos to your work. What do you use for post processing these pictures? What tool or
Um,
software?
Yeah, yeah, very good point. So I'm going to talk briefly about my workflow in the processing of the picture. So first of all, I will use Bridge. So Bridge is a software in order to organize your picture, do a pre-selection. So I tend to not have too many pictures after a photo shoot because I work really closely with the dancer. I delete picture a lot on spot as well, just to make sure I don't work on a picture that where feet are not correct or position are not correct. And then yeah, the first point will be to look at Bridge, do a pre-selection of picture, and after that I will actually use Photoshop, and so Adobe Photoshop. And for that, I will not edit too much of the picture. I actually don't like too much editing because I feel it's remove a lot of authenticity in the picture. But obviously, I'm doing a lot of layers, contract, and a bit of dodging and burning. So that will be the main things I'm going to do in Photoshop. And for that, because I do mainly the same thing, I will create some actions in Photoshop. So for people that doesn't know what is actions, you can look in YouTube. There is plenty of tutorials about that, and it is really cool because you can save all the workflow that you are doing on specific pictures and play exactly for all your pictures, and that's it's pretty handy. That will be the main workflow. And then for all the black and white, I show you, I'm using a plugin in Photoshop called Nik software. And
Okay.
inside Nik software, I'm using a software called Silver Effect Pro. And this is beautiful. This is one of the top software for black and white and other editing because you have a lot of different processing options on it. But for black and white is amazing. And all the black and white that I show you so far, I use Silver FX Pro.
Okay. Okay. That was like too much details. I'm sure the photographers will understand it better. Thank you so much, Anne, for that. How do you like you have an idea about so many softwares, tools, how to take pictures, angles, shots, focus, ISO, shutter speed, and all of that. How do you educate yourself to take better pictures every time? Like I feel everything is a learning curve. There is nowhere that you stop learning. So
Yeah.
how do you educate yourself to take better pictures then?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, two very important points. So I'm part of the Dublin Camera Club. So I'm part of a photography club, and that is amazing because we have like weekly meeting. So currently with the COVID situation, it's via Zoom. But it's amazing because every Tuesday there is a photographer about absolutely different topic, either landscape photography, underwater photography, a lot of different topics. And they talk about their photography, their journey as a photographer, their workflow to edit the picture sometimes. And this really helped me to think out of the box and to learn about new techniques and open my creativity as well. And the second point is doing online courses. So at the moment, it is amazing because everyone is on the same situation with the COVID. So
I agree.
everyone can actually, do online courses, and a lot of photographers are actually doing online services at the moment. So with Nick Software, for example, they do a lot of workshops. So I attend few of their workshop online, and it's great. And the
Okay.
last one that I was doing a lot last year, it was meeting with friends or group of photographers directly, in Dublin, for example, from different backgrounds, but, going for a walk, around Dublin and take pictures and learn from each other's.
Okay. Okay. So that's a very interesting way of learning because not through books, not through some articles, sometimes you will get bored. But when you're sitting with a set of people and who do the same, who share the same interests, it turns out to be an interesting learning process altogether.
Absolutely,
That's
yeah.
nice. Yeah. Okay. So, among your works, which one has been your absolute favorite?
Yeah, so this is a very hard question. It's very hard. Why? Because I photographed more than 42 different dancers around the world, and every single dancer I photographed, it has been amazing meeting them, working with them closely, and every single of the picture I photographed tell a story and remind me of memory. So it's hard for me to pick one single one. But if I have to pick one particularly, it will be this picture of the Half Penis Bridge in
Okay.
Dublin. So it's a flamenco dancer, and I took this picture when I started dance photography. So really at the beginning, I think it was my second photo shoot. And I particularly like this picture for two different reasons. So the first one is I took that in Dublin in one of the most iconic places, so the Half Penis Bridge. And I'm living in Dublin for more than 8 years now, and it's my second home. So I feel really close to Dublin and Ireland in general. So that is why this picture means a lot. And the second point, I won few competition with that, and the first competition I won with my dance photography was with this picture, and I got a photography distinction, the LIPF in Ireland in 2017, and it was actually one of the picture on my panel. So that is why it means a lot
Congratulations.
to me. Thanks. And again, a black and white picture that I edit with the Nix software, and you can see the black is really black and the white is very white.
So, where, like, is there somewhere you get inspiration from, or like someone who's like influenced you? Do you have
Yeah.
someone who influences you in this field?
Yeah, I actually have, I don't have one specific person, but I have three actually. So one person is not in my field, but inspired me a lot. So it's Vivian Mayer. So I don't know if you heard about this photographer that really never developed her work, but when she passed away, they developed her work, and it's actually a beautiful piece of art. And she photographs mainly street photography. And it's not something I'm doing a lot, but I'm inspired so much by her work, the way she used the lights, the line, the curves, and everything in the street. It's absolutely stunning. And I'm delighted I could finally visit one of her exhibitions in France when I was there last month. So beautiful inspiration for me. And in my field, I'm really inspired by Omar Robles. So he's a photographer based in New York at the moment. And if you look at his Instagram, he's mainly doing ballet dancer, but absolutely stunning. And he photographs dancers in the street, and the light, the composition, everything is absolutely beautiful. And I usually watch a lot his work, and that inspired me so much. And the last one is the New York City Dance Project. So they also do mainly ballet dance photo shoots, but it's studio mainly, so they completely different style as me. But I really like watching what they are doing. It's beautiful, wonderful composition as well. Very they usually use very beautiful dresses, and the flow and the movement of the dresses when there is a jump and stuff, it's stunning, and that also inspired me a lot on my journey.
That's nice. Which has been your, so since you were talking about the Dublin project, so I thought I should ask you, which like any two projects that have been your favorite and you've been recently working with them?
Yeah. So two projects. So the first one, obviously, the Dublin Dancer and Dreams. So this is the name of the project that I have been working with in the past 4 years now, I mean 5 years. So the main idea of the project is to uh, pictures, dancers in Dublin city using the most famous landmark in the city. So for tourism, to show the beauty of the dance and to show the beauty of the city as well. And I photographed 25 different dancers from different style of dance, from different nationalities as well. But they have two things in common. They all speak English and they all live in Dublin. And I wanted to show the multiculturality that we have in Dublin and the beauty of this city in a different way. So this is actually an amazing project. I've been working with all these artists in the past 4 years now. And I'm delighted I could do some exhibition last year and exhibit my work in 3 different galleries in Dublin. And the concept was a bit different. It was not just about exhibiting my work and people coming to see the pictures. It was also giving life to these pictures and through a dance show. So all the dancers I photographed, they came to the gallery and they performed to give life to my photography. And that was absolutely an amazing memory.
Nice
And
work.
and the second project, obviously, it's the book a book. So based on the Dublin Dancer and Dream. So I actually want to show all the work inside a book with different poems and are in Irish and in English.
Okay. Thank you, Anne, for that. What's one thing that you wish you knew when you started photography?
Yeah, very good point. So this is actually a hard one because when you start photography, it's a journey that you start, and I'm doing photography for a few years now, and I'm still learning. And sometimes I relearn things that I learned a few years ago because it's a a learning curve. But there is specifically one thing that I hope I knew when I started. It's don't be too exigent with yourself. I have been really exigent with myself when I started, and zooming in the picture almost 200%, and it was not sharp enough, so I deleted. And I was really exigent and comparing myself to the best in the field. But the best people in the field, they started at one point. So don't compare too much as well your work with other people that have so much experience, and don't be too exigent with yourself. That will be the key things I would say when you start photography.
Yeah, I feel competition is something everyone's running against. Like everyone wants to be better than the other.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah. So from there, I would want to ask you how and where did your journey begin for photography?
Yeah. So this journey became quite a while ago now, but because I moved in Ireland long time ago, and I was far from my family, and I wanted to show the beauty of what I was experimenting here to the people that couldn't experience the same. And with photography, it's something that you can do, and you can trigger emotions looking at a picture. And so I really started, my journey as a photographer when I moved to another country. And that became even stronger when I traveled in Asia a few years back. And I traveled with my camera and I captured the beauty of the people, the beauty of the culture. And I was again sharing that with family and friends. And that's become a really a passion, sharing the beauty of the world to people that couldn't experience the same, and through my lens in my way. And then
Okay.
when I returned to Dublin, basically I actually wanted to experiment a little bit more with movement and dance. So with few friends that I have around that was performing, it's the way that really everything started.
Okay. That's a nice way of expressing your passion and journey. Thank you. Okay, so now next we have some questions from the form we circulated. So everyone who doesn't know here, we had initially circulated a form and asked everyone if there was a question they wanted to ask Anne. And from that, we have a few questions here, which I'm going to ask. Making art for yourself versus making art for others, Anne. In a creative field like photography, where appreciation is dedicated by external spectators, what do you feel when you photograph something that you like but your audience doesn't? I felt this was a very intellectual and intuitive question.
Yeah,
What do you
yeah,
have to say
very
about it?
interesting. Very interesting question. So, few things I can say. So the first one is like you do photography for yourself first, and for me, I photograph because I like doing that. So if I do dance photography, I photograph, and the work I will publish or the work I will put in competition, I will do it because I like it. And this is actually the most important. You have a passion, you do it because you like it. And this is something that, can be a bit difficult at the beginning because you want people liking your work, but it's like in everything. You can't get 100% of the people that like your work. And I actually don't mind about that because I really like and I'm proud of working with all these artists and delivering the work I'm doing. So yeah, to really finish on the answering the question, I actually do photography and share my work because I like it, and if people don't like it, it's fine to me.
So, is there any way you cope up with some negative comments that you might hear for your work?
Yeah, absolutely. So that will really depend of the comment, but obviously I will reply in a nice way and explain, maybe this person really like, I don't know, nude photography, for example, and me, it's not really my cup of tea and not something I like, but I will look at on not a judgmental aspect. I will look at on an artist point of view, and I will say maybe this is nice. I don't appreciate it, but I'm not going to judge, and this is actually the reply I may have and say, I'm not going to judge your work. It's what you like. So don't judge what other are doing and just be on a respect mode and look it as, an open-minded point of view and not as a judged point of view.
Okay. I think the next question could be, a sub question to this entire question. In a creative field, do you tend to embrace popularism and therefore change your style based on what is accepted by your audience? Do you
Yeah.
want?
Very good question. So, especially on a society where we live with social media and the pressure of social media, we tend to adapt our style based on what the audience want to see. But at the end of the day, is it what really you want to do? Is it what really you like as well? Changing completely your style to adapt to the society and to the people that follow you, for example. It's not something I would do because it wouldn't be me. So if I change my style to adapt to the society, for example, or to adapt to a certain people, that means that I will completely change my personality, my vision, my creativity, and it's definitely not something I want. So I will definitely work towards my goal and my style, and there is always be people that won't like what I'm doing, but this is actually the world where we're living. A lot of people have different opinions and different things they like, and this is something I won't change myself or change my style to please people.
Okay, so that's a
And it's
strong
something,
thing of be you, be
yeah,
yourself.
exactly, and this is a
Live
strong
to
advice as
express,
well.
not impress, as the saying
Exactly.
goes. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's a strong advice that I give to people as well. And be yourself and open your creativity yourself. And this is really important. And you can achieve so much, in being yourself.
That is true. Next, someone asked us, how much is travel important to you for your business?
Yeah. Good question. So I I love traveling. I've always been fascinated about traveling. So I take opportunity of the travel to actually make new opportunity for my work. I don't think this is key for what I'm doing in dance photography. Because in Dublin or in Ireland in general, there is plenty of artists that I could photograph. It's just that it's something I'm passionate about it and fascinated about new cultures, meeting new artists. So that is why I actually travel so much as well, and I'm lucky because I'm also from France, so I can travel a lot to my own country, and the country is big in France, so I can photograph a lot of people there. I don't think travel is key, but for me, it's very important in order to meet new people, new cultures, and be able to extend my network.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's there. Thank you so much, Anne. We would like to conclude this session by asking Anne you one last question. What do you have? Like, is there some advice you want to give to budding photographers who are just starting off their career or who are scared? Like, a lot of people do not opt photography as their career because they are scared, like, what if you don't do well in it? What if you don't succeed in it? It is a very, very out of the box career, I feel, and something not everyone has the courage to take. And kudos, you did that. So, any advice to these young budding photographers?
Yeah, absolutely. So a few different things. So the first one, because I got this question a lot, you don't need to have the most expensive equipment or the most expensive camera to start photography. You can start photography with your phone. And I know really good photographers that actually won so many awards with their phone. So you can start opening your creativity just with your phone and study photography only with your phone. I really believe that photography it's creativity and opening your mind. So everyone is able to do it. So don't worry about people judging you or anything like that. Just do it because you like doing it. So this will be um, my two first advice. And another advice, join, clubs like, I'm sure, I mean, there is clubs all around the world, camera clubs. Join clubs, meet people, share with them, and you don't need to do pictures to win competition. No, you can do pictures just to share what you see in a different way. So this is will be my third advice, and the last one, just do it for fun. Photography, it's for fun. So have fun when you take pictures and enjoy it mainly. And if you don't want to share your picture, there is no pressure on that. Don't share it. Just just do it for yourself and having fun. This is the most important. And capturing a moment. Yeah. I hope this
That's
helps.
true. Yeah, I really hope it helps everyone too. Thank you, Anne, for the wonderful session. It was an absolute delight having you with us. I have myself learned a lot from you right now in this, I think, 45-minute session. And I really hope that everyone who joined the session got a bit more insight into what photography is and especially the details that you shared on your tips and techniques. I really hope that helps everyone as well. And everyone, you can visit penningdownsuccess.com to know more about Anne. Will be sharing her website link and a few of her works. So, and also this live session. So you can read about her, know more about her, and I think get in contact with her if you need some help as well. So thank you, Anne.
Thank you so much. And, don't hesitate to contact me if you want to learn more. I'm always open to share more tips and tricks about photography. Thank you so much.